Non-spoiler review of And the Mountain Accord by Khaled Hosseini. Khaled Hosseini is also the author of The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns. So in this video, I'll be giving you a non-spoiler review of And the Mountain Accord, and we'll be comparing this book, The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns. First, the page length. This is the thickest book Hosseini has written so far. Both The Kite Runner or A Thousand Splendid Suns is not as thick as this. This is about 465 pages long. I rated both this book 4 out of 5. How much would I rate this book? Watch till the end. I will also be rating this book. The story is about these two kids, Pari and Abdullah, who had to be separated in young age due to some reasons and the events that will follow. I will read you the blurb. 10-year-old Abdullah would do anything for his younger sister. In a life of poverty and struggle, with no mother to care for them, Pari is the only person who brings Abdullah happiness. For her, he will trade his only pair of shoes to give her a feather of her treasured collection. When their father sets off with Pari across the desert to Kabul in search of work, Abdullah is determined not to separate from her. Neither brother nor sister know what this fateful journey will bring them. What the blurb suggests is this book is about Pari and Abdullah, but is it? No. The characters that appear in the story is too wide and various. Sometimes I confuse, is this story about their uncle Nebi? Is it about their stepmother Parwana? Or is it about Nebi's employer? Sometimes you even doubt, how is this even relevant? Some of the characters are clearly not helping the plot. Then why are these characters or their stories? You can literally make each chapters into different stories because they are about different people. And Pari and Abdullah, they are just the beginning, and you won't see them for a long time in this book. If this book was again about political issues from Afghanistan, I would have thrown this away, because both The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns already discussed in deep about the Afghan political issues. The story underlined with the political issues in those books. But thankfully, And the Mountain Accord is not about political issues in Afghanistan. It is not about the Soviets ruling Afghanistan or the Taliban. It is a different story that is set in Afghanistan and France. A thing to add here is quotes from this book. Oh my god, they are so heart-touching, and I have posted so many of them in the community post. Whenever I read a book, when I come across these beautiful quotes, I post them in my community post. Go out to the channel page and check them out. I will also leave some of them at the end of this video. I don't know why I didn't find this much quotes from The Kite Runner or A Thousand Splendid Suns. Maybe their page lengths are a little lower, that's why, or I don't know. This is more heart-touching and more relatable for me in quote wise, and I will leave that quote at the end of this video, and more are there in the community post. I have said this before in A Thousand Splendid Suns review I have done in this channel, that specialty of Khaled Hosseini is that he will break your heart and towards the end he will make you happy. But And the Mountain Accord does not do that. It is quite different from The Kite Runner and Thousand Splendid Suns. This story breaks your heart at the very beginning itself, the first chapter itself, and you would wait for your heart to be repaired, but that doesn't come in a long time, and it doesn't exactly mend your heart like you want to. And also, after having read this book, you are not that happy like you were in The Kite Runner or A Thousand Splendid Suns. You won't feel like the book is finished. Something is amiss. Maybe Khaled Hosseini is not giving you what he promised in the blurb. Maybe that's why I felt the book must have a good, resolute conclusion. Two things Khaled Hosseini cannot let out from his book. One, a hospital scene. Two, a writer. Either one of the characters would be a writer, and there will be hospital scenes now and then, or a lot of hospital scenes. You have seen that in The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns. You also see it in the And the Mountain Accord. It is a very autobiographical element. I mean, he was a medical practitioner in the beginning. Later he became a writer, so he cannot left that roots, how he came from, in his stories as well. I didn't see a writer in A Thousand Splendid Suns, but both in The Kite Runner and The Thousand Splendid Suns, you will see writers, and also there will be hospital scenes in every of his books. I wouldn't say don't read this book. This is the worst book written by Khaled Hosseini. At the end of the day, it's a light read, a good entertainer. Despite having so many problems with this book from his first two books. He gives us wide variety of stories, and that ultimately leads to a feel-good mood. I don't know who is protagonist in this story. I told you in A Thousand Splendid Suns I had doubts who the protagonist was, because there were two feminine characters who were striking, who is standing up in front. So there were two protagonists. But in this story, is there a protagonist? When you read Blurb, you think the story is about Abdullah and Pari. Maybe Abdullah is the protagonist, but later there is more Nebi in this, their uncle, and you think that this is about his story. He is the protagonist. Later, then other characters comes in, and it's about their stories. So I don't exactly think there is a protagonist in this story. It's so divergent, different stories that are connected in a complicated way. Okay, to the rating. This is not good as A Thousand Splendid Suns or the Kite Runner. So I rate And the Mountain Accord 3.5 out of 5. Beautiful quotes I found from this book are coming up next. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe and turn the bell icon to all options. I will see you on the next video.